When I first started my Pokemon card business, bulk was a massive part of it, and it still is to this day. It's pretty easy to source, it's relatively cheap, and it's easy to get a lot of. But not all bulk is created equal. So today I want to talk to you about how I differentiate types of bulk, organize them, and more efficiently sell them without taking up too much of my time. But first, I'm Koda with Koda's Collectibles. I am restarting my Pokemon card business after taking a bit of a break because of work. But if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'm trying to build out this community and it's really been a lot of fun. Feel free to subscribe and chat in the comments. Anyway, let's get on to it. I still have way too much bulk sitting over in shelves that I'm still organizing and going through. And it's surprising how much money I've been able to make from it and how efficiently I've been able to kind of make the operation. A lot of people see bulk and they say, oh, well, I'll make 25 cents from a card. It's gonna take me time to go through all those cards. Most of them aren't even worth 25 cents on TCGPlayer, so why would I even bother listing them? It's not all about what the TCGPlayer market says it is. It's really about what the value is to other people. Which brings us into the first part of this, which is the collectors. There are people out there that are master setting pretty much every set. Danny Phantom has a series going on right now that's just master setting literally every set that's ever existed, which is such a cool operation. I wish I had the money and time and all that to do that. I do not, but it's really cool. But there's tons of people out there that are just master setting sets. They need the commons and uncommons, the reverses and all that. They don't need to necessarily have everything be a massive hit. You don't only have to have hits on your shop. And if you do it efficiently and price it properly, like have a floor for your pricing. I have 25 cents as my floor for any card. I'm not gonna go below that. If I'm sitting at 25 cents a card, I can make a couple of cents off each card. And wow, that doesn't necessarily sound like a lot. You know, over the course of hundreds and hundreds of orders, this with stuff that you didn't really have to spend a bunch of money on, and it's kind of evergreen. Like people are always gonna be master setting. People are always gonna be doing that kind of stuff. You can really make a decent amount of money off something that is pretty simple to get and pretty easy to go through. Will it make you rich? Probably not, unless you have tons and tons of it, but it is so helpful to kind of fill in those gaps in between collections or in between set releases or whatever. It's a great like in between. So just look around what people are collecting. You know, hollows and reverse hollows are in every pack right now, which back in like black and white when I really got into the TCG, that was not the case. Hollows were like an actual hit. It's kind of weird coming back to it after so long when I came back to it in 2024 where I was like, oh, a hollow, oh, a hollow. Oh, is this just how this is? I guess this is just how this is or whatever, but it is how it is. And you may think, oh, that's not worth that much. It's listed at 12 cents on TCGPlayer. No one's gonna buy it for 25 cents. I have sold a lot of cards on TCGPlayer that are worth 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, for 25 cents a piece. People will go through and say, oh, cool. He's got a bunch of stuff listed from, say, Mega Evolution. I need this card, this card, this card, this card, this card. They can put together an order to get to free shipping and be able to pick it up. I'll still be able to make some money off of it. And everybody kind of wins at it. It's a great way of filling in gaps in collections. And if you can get a lot of bulk from the same sets, you can help people collect more and more sets and finish out sets, and they will come to you for the entire order versus just picking up a couple cards here and there and you basically breaking even and making a couple cents. So the very base of the collecting aspect of it, you are getting to make a couple cents off each card if they sell one by one, and that's fine. It's a little more time consuming, but hey, they're still selling, you're still profiting. Don't worry about it being not a big number. This is a slow, gradual buildup. This isn't just gonna be every card is gonna sell for $50 and you pick it up for $5. You're gonna pick up a card for a cent, 2 cents maybe with bulk rates, and you're gonna sell it for 25 cents, and after fees, you're gonna make 2 or 3 cents. Guess what? You are doubling your money. You're doubling a small amount, but you are doubling your money, and that will continue to build on itself. But also this gives a lot of value to the reverses and to the hollows that are in every pack, because now people need those. You know, you may have a ton of them, but people need those reverses to master set. They need those hollows to master set. So they have even more value now. It's a cool like way of funding a small business, especially if you're starting out with very little. You know, if you happen to know a ribbon shipper that doesn't use their bulk, or you can talk to different local game shops and stuff that don't necessarily want to deal with bulk, you can get it pretty cheap. And you can build out your TCGPlayer account, get your level 4 certification or whatever they call it, and you can do that pretty quickly with bulk. That's how I did it originally. I used bulk for the most of it. So don't discount the collector side of it. Also, if you aren't familiar with the actual trading card game, I would really suggest getting familiar with it. I've learned a lot, and I've picked out a lot of things from bulk that I might have otherwise overlooked by knowing what was competitive and what was valuable. All these cards like Dracloak, Buddy Poffin, Lily's Determination, Arven, like if you don't know the competitive game, you may see these and kind of put them to the side like, okay, I'll get to these. It's just some random bulk, not a priority. But then they're like, wow, this is a $1 card. This is a 50-cent card. These are more valuable than some of the X's I'm getting. And all of a sudden, those things, they look amazing. They look like way more than bulk, especially if you're starting off at these low levels where like a 50-cent card at the same rate of purchase of a 25-cent card, that's even more money. That's over doubling your money. That's an incredible value. And really, if you get into the TCG online, it's really easy to do. You can get code cards pretty much with any bulk purchase and scan them in, play the game, and it gives you so many packs, it gives you so many cards. Like, I have not really invested any money or any like real time into it, and I've got every major deck that I could conceive of at a base level, and I can play it and compete in it and figure out like what's competitive. I can see other decks that are coming through and say, okay, noted, that card's interesting, that card's interesting. I'm seeing this card a lot in decks. I need to look through my bulk and make sure I haven't missed any of these. One of those was the Monkey Dory from Prismatic. I can't remember what other, I think Shrouded Fable was probably the set it was from originally. It was just a hollow foil, but it's a very competitive card. It's a very useful competitive card. So I went through and I found some that I hadn't listed yet because I had put them in the bulk pile of, okay, I don't know that this is valuable yet, so I'm gonna get to it. Like, I don't have time to look through every TCG player price, so I kind of have to go off what I would assume in my priority list, and hollow foils are like third in that. So I realized, oh crap, this is actually useful. I need to post this. So yeah, take some time to learn it, play it a bit. Pokemon streams all their big tournaments as well, so you could just kind of have it in the background and listen to them talk about the different cards and what's hitting the table, and realize, oh, let me make a list. Let me write down, so next time I buy bulk, I know, okay, if I see Dusknoir, picking every one of those out. If I see Dracloak, I'm picking every one of those out. And those go up in the priority list. They're not just the random common that I need to list at some point. They're the reverse rares and stuff that are a little more valuable going quickly. And those 30, 40, 50 cent cards that you may not have gotten to, as a high priority, every 5-10 cents above that baseline floor of like 25 cents for a bulk card is a big multiplier on big multiplier. And when you're dealing with bulk and lots of orders for small profit, having those multipliers built in just really helps with increasing your profit margins and increasing the speed at which you can scale your business up. So how do I prioritize certain types of bulk, and how do I look through bulk to more quickly get stuff up on the website that is more valuable? Well, I typically start with reverses. Reverses are the balance of people that are collecting are really going to want reverses because they're the harder things to get. Every card has a reverse. People are trying to collect it. I usually sell a lot of reverses once I get them up on the website, so they take first priority, especially reverse rares, because they're typically the ones that are sitting in that 30, 35 cent range, which again, every cent is a big upgrade in your profit margin. And next on the list is trainers. I will go through those and make sure that they're up on the website because they're really valuable for the competitive side. And now knowing a bit about the competitive side, I can kind of see which ones I know need to go up immediately and which ones are not as useful. But in all, a lot of times those are the most useful to put up a bunch of because people need play sets of. So if you end up with 20 of a trainer, it may not seem like a valuable trainer. It may look like a 10-cent card on TCGPlayer, but having a set of 4 will allow people to go ahead and just purchase their playset from one person. And that's gonna make it a little easier to move off of these cheaper cards. So trainers, second in the list. And the next layer down is just the hollow foils and regular, uncommons, commons, all that mixed together, because I'm really looking for cards that I know are really competitive. So I'll find the cards that like the Dusknoir and the Dracloak and the stuff I mentioned before. I'll make sure that those get set up in their play sets so I can move off of those, because those usually move pretty frequently for me. And then after that, I will take, the cards that I have left. I'll usually list all of the hollow foil rares, but the commons and uncommons, I'll kind of sort through a bit. And if it's not something that I think will really move, I usually put together like little ETBs and sell them for like $10 on Facebook Marketplace, try to give it to people that haven't been able to get Pokemon, especially how difficult it's been. And usually like with those, I'll throw in sleeves and all the different things for the TCG, like the dice and all that for free. So it's like, $10 and it pays for me driving to meet the person on Facebook Marketplace. And then, it covers a little bit of the cards. I'm not too worried about like making money off of that part of it. That's just a way to break even at best, which is perfectly fine. Like, it's getting cards that I don't think are actually going to move at all out of my, you know, relatively limited space. I don't have infinite space. I'm in my like spare bedroom in my apartment. It's not like a, you know, big old office that I can have shelves and shelves of bulk. Another thing that you may not think about as a like Pokemon centered person. So like for me and a lot of people that I think I'm talking to or have talked to in the industry, bulk isn't just Pokemon. Like if you can pick up a big Magic lot, it's actually really helpful. And those actually move at a more consistent rate overall than Pokemon. There's still plenty of things that move faster from Pokemon, but if you can pick up a big Magic lot, the overall scale of the bulk, Magic moves a little bit more consistently overall, like just individual cards at any point, because there's so many different formats and styles and decks in Magic that there's a wider variety of people that need a wider variety of things. Pokemon competitively, at least, there's like a few decks out there that are the mainstay metas, and then there's other decks that are rogue, but not like a lot of cards that all need to be put into these decks. Now with Magic, there's a lot more cards that can be useful in decks, and I've sold some of the weirdest, most random cards from Magic lots that I picked up. So just keep an eye out. Like if you see a really cheap Magic lot on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, it might be worth picking up. I've had pretty good success with them so far. There's been some that are not the greatest condition, but they've still sold because lightly played still sells a decent bit. But a lot of the collections I've been able to kind of like check out, you know, collections or bulk lots that I've been able to check out in person before I grab, like if they're looking decent condition, you know, I've been picking up quite a bit of them and they sell really well. Now, I don't know a ton about Magic. I did play back in the day a bit, but I know that it is a relatively consistent seller. So if you see Magic lots that are a decent price, like a cheap bulk rate, I would very much consider picking them up. You know, you will be able to find sellers that have a lot of bulk. At least that's what has worked for me. Again, your results may vary. I'm just telling you what has worked for me. Feel free to disregard it at your will or to follow it, and hopefully it does well for you. And let me know if it does. I'd love to see proof positive of what's worked for me. Anyway, I just packed like 15 orders of mainly bulk, so I felt like I needed to sit down and talk about that because it's an overlooked thing. Though recently I think it's been a little less overlooked because of how hard it's to get any big ticket collections or sealed. It's a lot harder to get, so people are looking kind of wherever they can to find product, and bulk is starting to become that, or maybe it has been a little bit longer. Again, I was kind of out of the game for a bit. I'm back in. Feel free to let me know in the comments how your bulk experience has been if you have already. And if you have any questions or want to know anything about, you know, the bulk aspect, sorting, or just the business stuff in general, or editing or filming or any of that stuff, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.